This week, we have Hollywood actor and Manchester United fan, Jamie Dornan.
Hello, Jamie. Thanks for coming on to Footballers Football Podcast.
Very happy to be here.
I just want to start off by saying my mum-in-law loves you. And she said on the fall, she wouldn't mind being murdered by you. That's her words, not mine.
Wow. She needs help, is what I'd say. I love it. I'll take any kind of love I can get, really.
So, Manchester United fan.
Yep.
How has that happened?
Well, look, I'm from a place where, Ireland is pretty much split. It's split in many ways, but it's split between Liverpool and United. That's kind of just how it's always been. In the north, George Best, massive influence. If you fly to Belfast now, the airport is literally called the George Best City Airport. You know, he was a huge influence over the generation before us. You know, like my dad was a United fan because of George Best, and then he passed that on to me, I guess. And we have a very good split between United and Liverpool at my mates I went to school with. So it's because it's, if you're a certain age like me, I'm about to turn 40, and people think that you just support United because you're a glory hunter, because obviously from, early 90s through until, 2013, we won a lot of trophies. But it was just one of those things that was passed on to me by my dad. And actually those early years, even those early Ferguson years that I just about remember, the early ones, there wasn't a lot of success straight away. So I will not say that I'm a glory hunter. I say that, and particularly at the moment, Jesus, it's a rough time to be a United fan.
So what do you think of the current squad at the minute, Jamie?
It's an interesting question, because if I think about that current squad, I think about those players individually. It's an unbelievable squad. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be, just fighting for the title. But we all know that that's very far from what we're fighting for. And it's frustrating. And since 2013, it has just been a slow demise. It's tough. It's a tough watch.
I can see it's painful. I can see it in your face.
Right.
Let's try to bring this conversation back positive, and let's go to, what was your first game you went to see?
Oh, it was a good first game. It was FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. United, we drew 1-1 with Oldham, and it was Mark Hughes scored a sort of volley in the last, it was 2 minutes into injury time, I think. And it was all lost. Like we were literally packing up our stuff to go in a really United fan fashion, like go before it's over. And we were like, well, listen, it's over. And we'd honestly, my dad and I had stood up and we're about to leave, and then Hughes scored that volley. And it was like pandemonium. It was like an unbelievable. This is, dare I say it, when the FA Cup seemed to mean more to people, and to players and to clubs and to fans. And it was just nuts. And then obviously forced to replay, one that end up winning the FA Cup. So yeah, it was a good first game, and I learned the lesson: never leave until the final whistle.
And I heard you're a half decent player yourself. No, got a five-a-side team going on.
I'm terrible. I'm a rugby, like at my core, I'm a rugby man. Like, I grew up playing rugby. I'm a far better rugby player than I am a footballer. But like I always had. Well, I used to have gas. And I don't have as much gas. I still think I'm fast, but I know I'm not, is the reality. And I know my knees are starting to ache every time I play football. But yeah, we have a wee dad's at the school that my kids go to. We have a dad's team. We had a big grudge match against the staff there before Christmas. We were 3-0 down and won 6-4, so it was a good night. But yeah, I want to try to. I'm out in LA at the moment. I met a guy yesterday who I used to play. I hadn't just bumped into him, and I used to play here years ago when I came out. So I'm going to try to get a bit of five-a-side going out while I'm out here, just to keep myself active. I'm at that age now where, I don't think we have a game where someone doesn't just limp off at some point. It's like really, it's so embarrassing now.
I'm starting to feel like that myself, Jamie, to be honest. So Jamie, I wanted to ask you about circular soccer. What's that all about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my dad had this idea. I actually just lost my dad this year at the start of last year. But my grandfather, who died before I was born, actually played football for Ireland, and then my dad was shit at football, and then I was decent enough. I'm a decent sportsman. My dad always said like the sporting talent skipped the generation because he was shite, and then like I ended up being like a decent sportsman. But they used to play this game where you'd basically use an old like a bin or something, and you'd just be playing football and trying to get the ball into the bin. But sometimes that thing, if you find yourself and there's only two of you, it's hard to get a decent game going. So they do this thing. So Dad invented this thing, circular soccer, where it's a try goal. It's got 3 different nets in it. So you can score on either side of it. So it doesn't like hold you to one place if there's only two of you, you know what I mean? So, now that Dad's passed, I don't really know what the crack is with it, but it's a great game. I don't even know if it's available. You can probably look it up online, see if you can get it. I have a set of it at home, but yeah, it's a good game.
I was going to ask you, what does football mean to you? Is it a big part of your life? But the way you was talking about the squad and how it looks so painful, I'm going to skip past that question.
Listen, I'm happy to talk about it. Like, the thing is, as much as I'm saying earlier, I'm not a glory hunter. It's more exciting and enjoyable to be a football fan of a team who are doing well. Let's just be honest about that. And I had so many good years of United doing brilliantly, and it was just more exciting. And I think there's something about football now. Like when I was so lucky to grow up with Bruce and Pallister, Irwin, Parker, Ince, Scholes, King, these guys who are, there's a sort of a loyalty to players like that, and they just, playing for that club meant so much to them, which I sadly feel at United seems to have gone.
So obviously we need to talk about your new film. It's called Belfast.
Yeah, it's been a lovely thing because it's come out in the States first, and it's had this unbelievable reaction, and critics are loving it, and it's been that's not always the case. I've been in movies that critics don't like a lot, and it's nice to be in one that's getting all the love and all this sort of awards attention. It's been fun, and so yeah, it's coming out 21st of January here or in the UK and Ireland. So yeah, go and see it. It's it's all it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
No one can pigeonhole you by your films, by the way. Like, that's one thing that you've done, and I really like it. Like, you've gone 50 Shades, then you've gone from The Fall, where 50 Shades, you're this hot, sexy guy, stuff like that. And then you go to The Fall, this hot, sexy murderer. One thing you can't take away is the hot sexiness, but yeah. And then now this dad from the 60s, like, you've definitely not pigeonholed yourself. You've kind of mixed it up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My thinking there is that, like, that's what it's about for me, for being an actor. Like, it's about variety. You're given this thing where, like, you've got a job where you can try to embody and inhabit all these different characters. Why would you just want to do one thing? And I always think that with, like, do I want to do the odd action movie in my career at some point? Yeah, probably. Do I want every job I do to be an action movie? No, I just don't. I'd be bored if I was just always chasing bad guys with a gun. You know what I mean? So I think it's, I like that. I think I've been lucky in that different things have come my way that are different. If you think I'm hot and sexy and all of them, fair enough. But like, they're different. They're different roles. And I feel lucky that I've been able to do that for me, that's what it's all about.
So obviously you've got a lot of talent at the minute. You mentioned a minute ago about critics. How do you handle those critics? It's
difficult, and you try to just block it out. And I've been lucky. The last couple of things, Belfast has been reviewed unbelievable. I've just been in the show called The Tourist on BBC One there over the new year, and again it got received really well. So I'm back to back. I'm on a decent run, and it's the same when you guys are on a good run. And when you're on a good run, life's just easier and you feel better. And so if you're getting knocked back with people saying shitty stuff about you, then it does affect you whether you want to or not. But my whole ethos in life is back yourself. And that's what it's all about. Like, you've got to that point. You two lads there have got to the point you are because you're brilliant at what you do. I've got to a point where I've obviously got something to offer because I wouldn't be in the position I'm in if I didn't. So you've got to harness that. You've got to back yourself.
So you're saying if us two came with confidence, then we could both be actors?
No, sorry, I don't mean that. No, these lads have proper talent in a different capacity. So, but it is about I think that it's funny you say that because I think a load of actors are frustrated sportsmen. I know a lot of actors who wanted to play sport professionally, weren't good enough, and then were like, well, listen, I put a lot of energy into that and didn't really focus at school, and options are limited, but I'd always enjoyed drama or whatever, and then they find themselves doing that, so it's funny you say that because a lot of people. And then, look at my favourite player of all time, Cantona. He's a good actor, he could do it, and also is like the classiest of footballers. So, there's maybe when you guys retire, there's still a bit of room for seeing you on screen.
I'll hold you to that because obviously most actors become directors, so I'm putting my hand out there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've got you covered.
Oh, Jamie, everyone who's joined us has done initiation. I was just wondering, would you do one for us?
Let me hear it first.
It's either sing a song.
Okay.
Majority of the time is sing a song, but that's just any of the songs that you got from being a United fan. Do you know any of the chants?
I know. I'll do. It was a United player, but it was for a World Cup. Is Paul McGrath? I said Paul McGrath. I said who needs Baggio when we've got Paul McGrath? There you go.